Hey everybody, and welcome back to Rugby Wrap-Up. I'm Matt McCarthy reporting from Xavier High School in New York City. We're here for part 2 of our interview with head coach of the Team USA Eagles 15s program, Mike Tolkin. Coach, welcome back. Let's get right into it. The U.S. soccer team has finally beaten Italy. When can we expect the Eagles to beat the All Blacks?
Well, we have our Kiwi expats in New York working the case right now. They're infiltrating the All Blacks camp and paratrooping into New Zealand as we speak.
So no Invictus Springboks food poisoning scandal?
No, nothing as overt as that. We have our people working on it.
Simply covert operations.
Exactly.
Fair enough, fair enough. Now, Coach, you and I have known each other for a long time. We've played against each other. People might not understand how competitive you are because of your relatively calm demeanor. Do you think that gives you an advantage that people might underestimate you?
Whether they underestimate me or not, you know, that drive is always going to be there. So, you know, does it drive me if I'm underestimated? Not really, because I don't really pay attention to what people are saying. I'm not a big Facebook guy. I don't go look at Twitter comments and things like that.
But, Coach, how much of an ulcer are you going to get if you don't win the World Cup? You've won on every level.
Well, you know what I think, Matt, is I don't think the ulcer will be there as long as we have the effort. But what I do think, and I'm not looking at World Cup now. I'm looking to get into that World Cup and qualify. But what I'm looking for now is, listen, we're at 18 ranked in the world. We have a summer where we play 12, 13, 15, and then in November, teams along the same rankings. First thing I want is our players to believe in ourselves like they did in the World Cup. And then the second thing that I want is for us to slowly move up in the direction of becoming winners, having a culture of winning, and believing in ourselves constantly and constantly improving the weaknesses that have existed over the last few years. So it's going to be a building process, but the foundation is positive team culture and believing in ourselves.
To that point, there is no professional rugby in the United States, and you've got very little money. So how do you find players?
I think you have to be proactive, and you know, some of the pathways that present themselves very accessibly in other countries don't necessarily exist here. You know, for example, if you're in England, you have the Premiership right there. You're watching games, players constantly. The size of the country here is not a help. And of course, with our players around the world, keeping tabs on them and other American eligible players, you know, you really have to use your resources as well.
So how does a player like Trevor Cassidy, who plays with the New York Rugby Club and the Villager Rugby Club down in Cape Town, South Africa, for his former head coach with New York, Danny Stevens, get on the Eagles' radar?
The pathway, certainly for the younger players, is the under-18s and the under-20s to be outstanding on your team, on your club team, and to get invited to one of those camps. And then from there, you're kind of in the system, and the pathway leads up to the All-Americans and then the Eagle A team. If he's above that age, where he's not involved in age grade, he would, again, have to be a standout, recommended, watched either in film and or in person, and then be invited to one of the camps, say, for the ARC.
So you're basically open to anything that could potentially help?
Absolutely. I mean, I have to be. You know, obviously there's a balance of not being able to look at every club in this country.
Sure.
But also to know when there's a diamond in the rough and a possible guy who may be playing on the lower side.
You have to be excited about coaching during a time when there's actual TV coverage from NBC Universal. I mean, we never had any of that stuff, and this is a potential game changer.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, you know, years ago, if you look at 10 years ago and what kids had available to them in rugby, a couple of internationals here and there.
A couple of videotapes.
Yeah, you know, I don't know how many times I, as a kid, watched the 73 All Blacks Barbarians game over and over. But now these kids have internet streaming, and they can watch it on Universal and NBC. It's great, and they have so much exposure to it.
Okay, Coach, final question. Boxers or briefs, and how much are they paying you to wear them?
Matt, some things we'll keep within the household. I'll just say this. They're not paying me to wear them yet.
Not yet, but they will be, trust me. And on that note, we'll end. Coach, we wish you nothing but continued success, and thank you for coming on with us.
Always a pleasure to be on your show, Matt, and hopefully we'll have some good news in the summer to report.
Indeed. For Team USA head coach Mike Tolkin, I'm Matt McCarthy out of Xavier High School in New York City for Rugby Wrap-Up, signing off.